Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. Welcome to our Pet Grooming 101 webinar with Priya. Priya has groomed more than 5,000 pets so far and is an avid pet lover, having a pet of her own as well. Hi, Priya. Welcome to the webinar with us.
Thank you, Arpita.
Thank you for making time to do this and, take all of us through a lot of tips that all of us need about grooming our pets. So let's start with the first thing. First thing being, what are your, basic tips for pet grooming, best practices that we should follow at home?
The first, what we teach is what they learn.
Right.
So, grooming has to be a day-to-day routine, a regular thing that we practice, like how we feed them, like how we take them for walks. Grooming
Right.
has to be a day-to-day thing that has to be practiced at home.
Okay.
The right tools, the right grooming habits, help them to be comfortable throughout their life. Like when it comes to long coated dogs like Shih Tzus and Huskies and Goldens, we
Right.
cannot do away grooming, meaning it has to be a lifelong process, and everything starts from the day they are home, like from when you get your pet at home. The
Right.
second day onward, what I do with my dogs is I set up a place, I put them on a table and start brushing.
Okay.
Meaning brushing is the key to have a healthy hygienic coat and to not have dogs who are matted and all that. So everything starts with the brushing at home, and then you take your dog to the groomer like when they are 3 or 4 months old for a professional service.
Okay. So basically, brushing, having a space that they know is their grooming space, and brushing them every day is a habit we should all make for at least long-coated dogs. For short-coated dogs as well.
Of course, but a daily practice is majorly for breeds like Shih Tzus, Yorkshires, Huskies, Golden Retrievers. Yes,
Yeah.
for short-coated breeds like Labradors, Rottweilers, yes, grooming has to be a habit, but it can be like an alternate day procedure, or if you skip a day or two, also it is manageable. Keep a long head, or if it's like a medium-coated dog, a
Right.
Maltese, whatever the case may be, every day brushing and combing is a must.
Even as a pet parent that I have been for so long, 14, 15 years, I think I do alternate day brushing, but now I will start brushing because I have an Irish setter and an Indie who's half German. So he's hairy. So now we will start doing this every day. Thank you for that tip. I think that also answers the next two questions I had as to how often we must groom them at home, at least. Right? Now, for cats, what do you suggest, Priya? Since you're a cat groomer as well, what do you suggest for cats?
So I am a cat groomer, and I myself have 2 girls at home, Persian cats. Cats are not somebody who is going to be comfortable, like, when you randomly get them to a grooming parlor and ask some stranger to cut the nail or, brush their coat or teeth brush. This is not, possible for a cat unless and until the process starts at home. Now, for my cats, they go through a regular de-shedding and combing routine every alternate day. Now, definitely I would suggest a daily brushing if you have just 1 or 2 cats at home. But I have 8 dogs and 2 cats. So I am able to dedicate only alternate days.
Take off work alternate days just to groom the ones you have at home.
So my Tuesdays are my bathing days and spa days at home for my pets.
Oh, how lovely.
Because it's an off. But otherwise, you have to make yourself, and getting up in the morning, brushing my teeth and sitting with my dogs is what I do first before my cup of coffee. Because if it is not done, then your dogs are in trouble, you are in trouble.
Fair point. Agreed. So good. So now we have it that cats also need to be brushed alternate days. And how often do we cut nails, Priya? So 3 questions that I think we got commonly. One is ear cleaning. What is a good way to clean ears and how often? Second is nail cutting. How dogs and cats both, how do we cut nails, and when should we cut nails? And the third one was, I think, for dental hygiene, right? How often do we brush a dog's teeth, cat teeth, and with what do we brush? So these 3, I think, are the next questions that were up.
Okay. So, earwax cleaning, like a basic cleanup, can be done with something called ear cleaning wipes. You get the swabs, the cotton swabs, and also you get finger wipes.
Right.
Now, I would recommend finger ear wipes. Now, the reason being, you will not be able to go deep down their crevices and hurt the dog when it's a
Right.
finger wipe. There's a limit, like, to how much you can
All you
insert
can
your
put.
finger.
Right.
Okay, so the finger ear wipes are the safest to be used at home.
Hmm.
Do not try the normal earbuds and all that going deep down. We cannot use a human earbud on a dog or a cat. It
Yeah.
can hurt their eardrums if it accidentally goes deep down.
Wow.
So
Okay.
finger ear wipes are the best when it comes to home grooming, or
Right.
and then maybe like once in every 15 to 20 days you can get a deep cleaning done at the vet's place or at the groomer's place.
Right.
So that's how your hygiene can be
And
maintained.
how often do we clean at home for dogs and cats? You're
Uh,
cleaning?
Weekly once, or
Weekly.
if you see my Labrador gets the wax development quite fast. So every
Right.
dog differs. So
Right.
if it's really dirty and you feel that it needs to be cleaned twice a week, it can be done. But
Okay.
however, to a limit, and do not go down deep.
Deep. Fair enough. Understood. And for cats also the same thing?
The same thing, but weekly one should do.
Should do. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay. So that's your cleaning. Next is, I think, dental hygiene.
Okay.
How, yeah.
For the toothbrushing, what I do at home is I have the same dental finger wipes.
Right.
Now this can be done like even every alternate days.
Okay.
Now, if a dog is comfortable with a toothbrush and a paste, that would be the best thing that you can do. So
Okay.
I prefer the brand called Trixie.
Okay.
It's a good brand of dental paste. You get a dental kit where there'll be a toothbrush, different kinds of finger brushes, and a toothpaste, and it's available for both dogs and cats separately. So Trixie is a great brand to be used.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah.
So toothbrushing, if your dog is comfortable with the toothbrush and the paste, that would be best. Even if they swallow the toothpaste, it's made in such a way that
Yeah.
it's not gonna do any damage to them, so they can. I would suggest you brush your adult dog's teeth at least 4 times a week.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And for a cat?
Cat also, it has to be a regular 3 to 4 times a week job.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay.
But they
And
do not cooperate. It's a very big task to, for a cat to let you brush their teeth. Even if it's on my own cat, they might be very reluctant. So
okay.
you have to start really. If you're a new pet parent, you have just got a cat, you have to start really early. As soon as your cat is home and it's been like a couple of days.
But what if
start.
we've had cats for a long while and we haven't done this? Then it's a
Huh?
tough. What if we've had
You
cats?
start touching here and making them comfortable, and make it a regular practice wherein you open their mouth slightly. You can't directly open and start brushing.
Right.
So make it more comfortable for them while you touch their jaws or open up their mouth. Or like if you're somebody who can give a tablet or syrup to your cat, then you definitely can start brushing your cat.
Perfect. Okay. And now the third one is nail cutting in both cats and dogs. How often, and should we do it? Should we have it done professionally? What is your opinion?
Nail cutting can be done at home, provided you do not cut they have their nerve endings here.
Yes.
So it's called the quick. So provided you are equipped and you're able to do it without hurting their quick,
Yeah.
it can be done at home. Now, like if you're a first timer and if you're nervous and if you feel, the more nervous you are, they're gonna catch your vibes.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
however you feel, so as cool as you can, keep it as cool as you can. If you're nervous, 90 out of 100 pets are nervous when it comes to their nail clipping.
Yes.
However friendly, however happy they are while getting a bath and a massage, nail clipping instigates them, or it's like it's very, most of them are anxious. Now,
Agreed.
if you are anxious as well while doing this is going to have a negative impact.
Right.
Now, be as cool as possible, and if you're able to do it without hurting them and the nails are long enough for you to cut it,
Yeah.
then you can go ahead and use an animal nail clipper, not a human one.
Right.
And for small dogs and smaller cats, you will get a small animal nail clipper. If nothing works, you can also try grinding their nails with a nail grinder.
Okay. And this is only if we are confident, only if we are sure of, being
Yes.
able to do it without ourselves being nervous. Otherwise, then we take them to the groomer or the vet and have it cut there.
Once it hurts them, then they are gonna remember it, and they're not gonna be very happy when you take
When
them
we
for
try to do that.
Yes.
Yes. Agreed. Okay. So these were the three, home grooming questions that came up. Now, someone wanted to know how, I think a lot of us, since we don't practice brushing the hair every day, a lot of pets have mats and knots in their hair. So if they do have that, and now we will start practicing, brushing them every day, but if we do have that, how do we get rid of them and then practice so that, they don't get these knots and mats again?
Okay, so there are the knots can be like a basic tiny piece of hair that's got knotted, and if it's very severe, that leads to matting.
Right.
Now, if it is knots, which is a minor case of knotting that has happened to the hair, it is doable at home if it is done in the right way. Meaning, you use a detangling spray, a good brand of detangling spray.
Okay.
You spray it on the dog's coat, and then you use something called a slicker brush.
Okay. And we get these sprays online at, wherever. Okay.
Yes, you do get the detangling sprays online.
Okay.
There are like quite a good brands like Groom. You get Hydra,
Okay.
Isle of Dogs. All these are good brands, and they'll all have brushing and detangling sprays.
Okay. And after that, show us the brush again, Priya. We'll see the brush again. Right.
This is the slicker brush.
Okay.
Now there are like multiple brands that can be used. However, these pins matter.
Yeah.
Meaning each brand, if you go to a local pet store and you ask for a slicker brush, the pin might not be as good as what I am showing you now.
Good
Now
quality.
the brands I'm showing you is Brush Puppy and this is Chris Christensen. All these are available online for you to buy. If you're not able to buy it, please let me know. I can help you out get it.
Awesome. We will be sharing Priya's details, email ID, WhatsApp once we finish this thing. So please, you can reach out to her and ask her again. So that takes care of the knotting. So
so for that, I also have to show you a metal comb.
Yes.
So like for a long coat dog like a Shih Tzu or a Maltese or a Yorkshire Terrier, how do you brush your dog? Now first, they have a double long coat.
Right.
Now, just the top layer being brushed out or, using a slicker brush or a metal comb on the top layer will only leave the top layer knot free. There's still the undercoat or the bottom layer that can get tangled up. So if your brush does not reach the bottom, the roots of the coat, then tangling can happen beneath. And so a layman might not even be able to recognize that the dog has already started to get tangled.
Okay.
So what you do, you use a metal comb to layer out the coat one by one.
Okay.
Meaning you layer out the coat and you start slicker brushing from the undercoat. And then layer by layer, you come to the top coat. Only then the whole coat will be covered.
Understood. So it's not just like, it should probably be like we do partings and then brush our own hair.
Exactly.
Exactly how we should part their coat and then brush their hair. Right? Okay, understood. Got it. Okay, so now with the mats, we should come to a professional when it comes to matted hair.
Definitely. Do not try cutting the knots with a scissor. We do not use scissors to cut out the knots. It can accidentally hurt your dog's skin. Skin is very thin, and if you the knots majorly happen near the roots.
Yes.
And if you're somebody who wants to save some money, please at least ask somebody who knows the job. Do not use a scissor. A lot of people use baby scissors, human scissors. They buy random scissors from the market and they cut off the knots.
Right.
I know it's time saving, whatever, money saving, easy on your pockets. But if it hurts the skin, then that can be like a
major concern.
Negative impact on your dog. Plus the pet rush. That is another thing.
Yeah.
Never cut out knots with a scissor.
Okay. Good point noted. And if you're not confident, then go to a groomer. I think, it's become easier now with groomers. So many groomers available everywhere that we are not restricted to, like I remember from Whitefield, I would come to the groomer in Domlur because there were no groomers available at one point of time. But now I think we have so many groomers that it's okay for us to take our pets to the groomer, even for small things like this. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that answers the matting question. Our next one is, how do we keep our pets calm when we are grooming them? Because like you said, they're always anxious, right? Especially pets that have not been used to grooming since they're small puppies. They get very, very anxious when we're grooming them. So how do we manage that?
Okay. Now, a lot of pet parents and my clients, I've seen them, getting them groomed in the living area or randomly making them sit on the floor and, trying to brush them out, wherein they're only gonna be able to run and make you run behind them. So it's always better to have a small grooming area in your house, like whatever is doable. Meaning, suppose you have a study table or wherein there's a raised platform, just put a non-slippery mat on it and make it your grooming area, so that your pet doesn't have the scope of running and escaping the job. Also, reward whenever they are there. Meaning, whenever they sit on the table, please reward them. If it's the first time that you're grooming them, or if it's the first time you're putting them on the table, every time they're calm and they're happy, reward them and make it a very positive experience for them. Like, they must relate the reward and the grooming area. Meaning, when I got my first Shih Tzu, every time she lets me do her combing, every single day, she lets me groom her face or her paws, whatever. She gets a treat, and I keep a particular brand, flavor, whatever, only to reward her for her grooming.
Right.
Now she's 4. She asks me for the same treat every time I brush her. Meaning, she still relates grooming to that. Meaning, it's gonna be a pleasant and a happy experience and not a scary one.
Right.
So rewarding works really well.
Okay. So creating a corner and rewarding, those are the things to keep your pet calm and make them like their grooming times and not be scared of their grooming times.
Also, do not be anxious that you could hurt your pet. The right tools, you don't have to worry about. Unless you're using a scissor or wrong tools, you don't have to worry that you're going to hurt your pet. It's your baby. You can take the best care than an outsider.
Right. Lovely. Now, our next one was, this is a big one actually. Tear stains. Most of our dogs, as they get older, they get these tear stains here. And how do we take care of that? How do we, especially in lighter colored dogs, it starts to show really badly. So how do we take care of that at home? Besides wiping their eyes, I think every morning, which I do with my pets. But, you're best to tell us.
Okay, so there are multiple reasons why dogs get tear stains. Meaning, it's mostly internal factors.
Okay.
Now, a puppy, while it's teething, the tears starts getting more and around their eyes. So that's one stage when they get tear stains.
Right.
Now, also depends on how the eyes are placed, meaning how it's placed or how the tear ducts are. Like, internal factors are something that majorly contributes to tear stains in dogs. Also, their diet.
Okay.
Now, if the diet is not balanced, or if you're feeding them diets that has add-ons like grains, corn, and gluten, that can also be a factor for tear stains. Now, apart from all these, environmental pollution or environmental pollen, allergies, dust, all these can also cause tear stains. Now, there is no one single cause or why tear stains happen. We cannot really, it could be multiple factors.
Got it.
Now, first, what you do is please check with the vet that the dog doesn't have any underlying health conditions.
Understood. Right.
Now, if there are no health conditions, then we can fix it at home, meaning to an extent.
Understood.
Meaning they are not completely, removable. However, to an extent, we can control it with a good, well-balanced diet. Like, they need a very well-balanced diet.
So ideally, I think, what we've been promoting and what we talk about with food here is that it's 70% meat and 30% of anything else, whether it's veggies and, we have only 3 out of 11 recipes that have grains. Ideally, it should be meat, veggies, more than anything else is what we promote as well. So I think you've just given us one more reason to tell people to eat our food.
One more thing that can be added is organic apple cider vinegar in their diet. This could help in reducing the tear stains internally when it's due to multiple factors.
Oh, interesting. And how much of apple cider vinegar can we add to their
like
meal?
A drop of it, maybe 3 or 4 days a week.
3 or 4 days a week, a drop in the meals.
Depends on the size of the dog. Like, each dog is different, and what I feed my Shih Tzu might not be what I should feed my Labrador.
Yeah, exactly.
It also will depend on the size of your dog, the weight of your dog, the breed.
Right. Okay. So this is very, very helpful. I think I've also learned something new. I didn't know so much goes on behind their tear stains. So now I shall be very aware of this. Okay. The other one is dry skin. I think Bangalore itself, the weather is so, for humans itself, we have such dry skin. So dogs, though, mine, genuinely, my Irish setter has a lot of problems with dry skin. So what is your suggestion on how do we manage dry skin in pets at home?
Most people, when their dog gets dry skin, they will come and ask me, what shampoo can I use?
No, I don't. Yeah.
So
I don't.
it's not just the shampoo that
Shampoo,
matters. It
yes.
again is an internal thing. Now, the first thing I would again say is a well-balanced diet.
Got it.
Well-balanced diet will contribute a lot to having a healthy and a hygienic coat and skin.
Right.
Now, a diet, apart from that, what we can do is omega-3 supplements available in the market. There are multiple. Like, I love something called the MyBeau.
Okay. Will you just type that out in the message box because I didn't get that?
It's MyBeau, My Beauty. Beau.
MyBeau.
MyBeau, MyBeau.
MyBeau. Got it.
Now, there are multiple variants. There are multivitamins in that. There are like skin and coat in that. So, all my dogs, they are on skin and coat.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So, this helps. Now, apart from this, in the winter weathers, adding some coconut oil or like natural olive oil into their diet also helps in, getting rid of dry skin. Again, if there are any inbuilt health conditions, your vet is your right person to go to. This is in a normal layman's case, what we can try at home. And if nothing works out, then we'll go to your vet.
Vet. Got it. So, in winters, either olive oil or coconut oil added to the diet. Otherwise, MyBeau, omega-3s, skin and coat meds, which we get nice tablets. I think that's what I feed my babies, yummy, tasty ones, which they just gobble up like, there's no tomorrow on them. So all of that can be used for dry skin. Now, that was one of the bigger ones that we had. And last one is, should we be bathing our pet? You already answered, should we cut our pet's hair at home? And you've said no, because, it takes a professional to understand and not use the scissors that we have. But what about bathing our pets at home? Should we do it? Should we not do it?
Definitely you can do it at home. Meaning cutting also, I was mentioning, do not cut the dog's knots or tangles, because that can cut deep down the skin. It can go into the layer and cut it off. Now, when it comes to a basic cutting of the underpaws, you get mini trimmers. Very big like trimmers in the market, wherein you can use to clear their underpads. I know it's my dog's underpads grows like out in a week.
Right.
In a week's time. Now we might be visiting the groomer like every 3 to 4 weeks, or sometimes once in 2 months. There are people who come once in 2 months, or there are also people who come 3 to 4 weeks once. Now, in between this, you can definitely bathe your dogs at home. The only thing you need to note down is that use a very good quality shampoo that does not, drained on or does not hamper the natural oil in your dog's skin. Any good moisturizing shampoo with oatmeal would be the best, unless your dog is allergic to oatmeal.
Right. Okay.
Now, oatmeal-based shampoos are very recommended, and anything that is moisturizing.
Got it. Okay. So great. And what about conditioners?
Conditioners are recommended majorly like for longer coated dogs, and when you apply conditioners, what you have to note down is that you do not apply conditioners on their skin or the roots. You only apply it on their lengths.
On their hair.
Similar to how we use conditioners, it's the same.
For our own hair, absolutely.
And you have to completely wash off the product. If you do not wash off the product, later on it can get matted, it can get stuck, and all these can
get greasy also. The hair gets greasy as well, right? Yeah. Got it. Okay. And how often should we bathe them if we are bathing them at home?
Now, it depends. Now, depending on what kind and quality of products you use, you can bathe them like as often as 10 to 14 days once.
Okay.
Now, this is provided you're using a very good brand of product, you're using a good shampoo, the conditioner, and also it depends on whether you're blow drying out your dog or not. Now, if you're leaving your dog to sun dry, that can cause problems in their skin and coat. The reason being, when you're just leaving your dog to dry out under the sun, their top layer gets dried.
Right.
But the bottom of the coat is still damp and wet, and which can attract fungal infections. Now,
Oh,
if
okay.
you're bathing your dog at home, if you're 100% blow drying your dog, you can bathe the dog twice a month.
Okay, this is a very interesting question we got. Casper has atopic dermatitis, hence lot of skin issues. For this, what is the special recommendation of grooming that we should take care of?
Okay, so atopic dermatitis is something that is not curable, or something that has to be
Right.
kept under control.
Control, yes.
Yeah, we can only control it to an extent. We cannot, completely get rid of the atopic dermatitis. It could be mostly genetic.
Right.
Okay, so what
Okay.
was the question? They wanted to know what grooming care
Yeah.
can
What
be given.
special care they should take because of this condition?
Okay, so there are shampoos recommended by groomers and veterinarians, which are specifically can be used for dogs with skin conditions and atopic conditions. You can bathe the dog maybe at least twice a month with those shampoos.
Okay.
Now it
And
depends. Like, your vet might be able to tell you what shampoo to use.
right, because they
I,
know the
I I wouldn't
condition.
spell out brands because none of my dogs have atopic, and I have been using what is recommended by the veterinarians. I also know something called Verbac Episoothe, which works best, but again
Right.
it depends on each dog. We can't take it generic, and I cannot comment on a particular brand that can fix the issue because it depends.
Right. Got it. Okay. So there is a question about a cat, which is a good shampoo for a long haired cat. And the cat obviously doesn't enjoy bathing much. So, how often should we bathe cats? And which shampoo do you recommend?
It's a long-haired cat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would recommend grooming, brushing, like a full grooming for a long haired cat at least once every 45 to 50 days once.
Got it.
And the
Okay.
brand can be used. I love BioGroom. It's like a majority ingredients are natural and sulfate and all that free.
Okay.
So BioGroom is a great brand. If it's a white cat, they have specific shampoos for white long-haired cats. You can try that.
There's a question here that says that my dog does not allow me to touch his ears or his tummy while grooming and growls. So what should we do when such a thing happens?
Okay, this is at home.
Yes.
Okay, so like lot of dogs do not get they get instigated when you rub their tummy. Like mostly I've seen this in cats.
Right.
Now this could be a long-haired pet, if I assume. Like, am I right?
They have not said if it's a long head. It says, what if my dog doesn't allow me to touch her ears, tummy, etc. for grooming? Otherwise, she's super friendly. That's all
Okay,
it says.
got it. Most dogs do not enjoy being brushed in the tummy, and they end up getting tangled if it's a long-haired pet.
Right.
Now, again, rewarding is what I could suggest when it comes to grooming at home. Make it a slow process. Do not force things on your dog. Make it a routine. Make it practice every day. Like maybe try it. Also, when you pet your dog, touch the ears more often, or just make her sit on your lap. Wipe the ears more often. Like don't just do it while you're grooming the dog. Touching here more often, or rubbing the tummy more often, and making them comfortable. Also, when friends visit, ask them to ask more people to do it. Like if your dog only allows you to do it, the groomer might have a tough task in grooming your dog.
Understood.
Like make it a regular practice and get them used to you touching them anywhere, meaning literally anywhere.
Right. And that will make them more comfortable, and then then slowly
and again, this cannot be done in a day or two. It is gonna be a regular practice that you have to regularly do. Like it has to be a habit, and eventually a dog is gonna let you do it.
Right. So I have another question here saying that my dog doesn't allow touching his mouth or brushing or cleaning ears. Can we use any natural treats to clean their teeth?
Now there are a lot of dental chews in the market that claims to get rid of the plaque and all that.
Right.
But nothing can do the job that a brush and a toothpaste does. Right. However, there is a brand, I think there's a brand, not Pedigree or anything. There's a specific brand of dental sticks that come. I can send it out to you in case you want to share it to them.
Yes,
I'm not able to recollect the name now. That's a great brand that has a mint flavor.
Oh, okay.
It
Great.
does. If you give one a day, it does help to an extent in in the order.
Wonderful. So please do send it to us, and Anisha, we will send this out to you as well, so
Also,
that you
there's a powder called Plague Off.
flake off.
Plague Off is a powder that I have used years back, and that is supposed to be put in their drinking water.
Oh, okay.
So that helps to a great extent. Also, the mouth odor could be an internal problem because of indigestion and all that.
Right.
Again, a balanced diet is a key factor in determining all this.
Got it. Also, shedding. I think we should have touched on this as well. Lot of shedding, excessive shedding in pets. How do we control that? What precautions do we take, and what grooming practices should we follow for shedding?
Okay. So I have never seen. Mostly shedding is in double coated breeds and shorter coated breeds.
Right.
As far as at home, what I've seen is my longer coated dogs never shed.
Absolutely right. Like my Irish setter, sheds much
They
lesser
shed.
than my Indie retriever because
Absolutely.
yeah.
So mostly we see shedding, like mostly it's twice a year for most of the dogs.
Right.
A seasonal shedding, mostly in short-coated breeds like Labs, Rottweilers, also
Right.
in short-coated breeds like Huskies, Malamutes, and Golden Retrievers. Now,
Right.
now when it comes to shedding, again, what we do in the shedding season is brushing the dog's coat twice a day.
Okay.
With a slicker brush, what I already showed you earlier.
Right.
Now, if it's a husky or a malamutes are dogs again with a longer coated when it compared to the husky. What you get is something called a not dematting rake. There's a brand called Wall, and there's also a brand called Andis.
Okay.
They have a rake, a de-shedding tool, which is specifically made for those kind of breeds, and it helps a long way. Like I have seen a terrible matted case of a semi, like a mix of a husky and a malamute, because this brush does not go deep down.
Right.
The pins are like not long enough to go deep down the double coat. So
Right.
what is the de-shedding tool? It's similar to a rake. Even a husky can get badly matted.
Yes.
So sometimes only the top layer of the coat is brushed out. Undercoat, the brush doesn't reach, and when it doesn't reach, the undercoat gets tangled up, and
Right.
there can be a nightmares where we have no other option than shaving that dog.
Oh, okay.
So I had one case in my life where there was literally no option because the entire undercoat was matted up.
Oh
And
God.
a husky is the worst thing that you can do to that pet. Brushing every day 2 times in the shedding season. If not for a shorter coated breed, in a normal day-to-day basis, maybe once every alternate day is good enough.
Right. I think there's also one more question about controlling fleas and ticks. Also, she says if dog doesn't want to wear shoes. I think here, Anisha, I can quickly tell you we shouldn't make dogs wear shoes. It's highly uncomfortable for them, and it's something that it's like a little bit of a torture to them. So let's not make them wear shoes. but I'm sure Priya can tell us how we control the fleas and ticks on them besides what the vet tells us, Priya.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are natural organic things available. Like again, a spray that is made of apple cider vinegar and a water. A mixture of that can be sprayed on your pet.
Oh, nice.
Weekly once to control them, because that's a tick and flea repellent, the scent.
Okay.
Now, apart from that, there are organic powders available which you can dab on your pet before you take on walks, or there are organic sprays, tick and flea sprays, repellent sprays which are available in the season. Maybe like just spray it on their paws or wherever they come into contact with the ground while on walks before you take them on walks. Again, it's all preventive. They can catch tick and flea even if they are not going on a walk. Even if they are just left in your apartment and they play in your apartment, they can catch.
Absolutely.
Control.
Absolutely. We also, I use, I've been using for years this Bagon's tick flea collar, right? And that really helps some of my short haired breeds. It does work on. Long haired breeds, it doesn't work on. But my short haired ones stay clean because of that, which is a good thing. So you could try that.
To an extent, around this part, if you're using, you never see a tick or flea.
Yeah.
But again, after walks, make it a habit to check their paws, their tails, their ears,
I
like
think, yeah,
overall check
checking
up
is
all that.
something also. I think, yeah, good point, Priya. Checking your pets, I think, on a weekly basis for ticks, fleas is a very important thing. Just part their hair a little bit, especially behind the ears, between their paws, under their arms, under their legs. I think these are places where the ticks and fleas hide. So you should do a regular check, maybe once in 3 4 days. Definitely check your pets for fleas and ticks so that you know immediately if there is an infestation and you can control it, because if left unchecked, I think it just blows out of
It can be
proportion.
disastrous. You have tick and fleas all over your house running
Yes,
around.
absolutely, I've seen fleas and ticks in a lot of people's houses also. You're right, absolutely right. So that can happen. Okay,
One more
I have
point
one more.
is
Yeah.
these days I've been spotting ticks and fleas inside the ear canals.
Oh yes.
They crawl
Oh
out. Please
my
check an eye,
God.
have an eye on that also. And whenever you go to your groomers, please ask them to do a deep cleaning and check if they find anything.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So this is a good one. I also have one more question saying that while you've said, give a bath to a dog every 20 days, my dog gets dirty in 4 days. So what do I do?
Yes, yes, every 2 weeks. Now 4 days
2 weeks.
again. Like what breed of dog is it? May I know?
I don't think they have mentioned. Let me check if they have mentioned what breed it is. Golden Retriever. White Golden Retriever.
Gets dirty in 4 days.
Yes.
Okay. Now, unless the dog is going on wet floors and unless it's that case, if it's a dry dust, this slicker brush goes a long way in helping you dust off all those dust from your dog's coat.
Okay.
Now,
Got it.
for my Labrador, I only slicker brush him. This is the only tool I use on him, and this helps me keep him fresh for more than a month. My lab is so clean that I don't even feel like bathing him every month. Meaning
Wow.
he doesn't get dirty that often. Similar as a golden retriever, I know the long hair is a add-on factor, but this helps in getting rid of those outside dust to a great extent. Now,
Excellent.
apart from that, yes, there are wipes available in the market. There are dry shampoos available in the market. However, I personally do not use any dry shampoos on my dogs. I feel it dries out their natural coat and the coat
Right.
feels more rough.
Okay.
Now, if my dog is very dirty and I've just given him a bath last week and it's like unavoidable, I would rather give him a proper bath and 100% blow dry him than using a dry shampoo which is going to do damage to his coat.
Fair point.
If
Right.
it is very, very absolutely necessary, please go ahead and wash your dog like
Once a
7
week.
days later or 8 days later, provided you do it with the right shampoo. No wrong shampoos. I can't give you out brands, but like I said, there are few brands I've already mentioned which
Right.
are great brands to be used on your dogs, and 100% blow dry.
100% blow dry is an absolute must. So please remember that. Anything that you would like to add, Priya, that we might have missed out on?
Apart from this, winter care we already spoke.
Oh, let's talk about paw care. Where we get dry paws, cracked paws. Tell us a little more about that.
Okay, so most of us have the habit of washing our dog's feet and paws after every walk, including me.
Right.
So every day now, especially if I do it mostly when it's rainy outside and when the mud is wet and they come out all dirty.
Yeah.
So we do, like most of us wash our dogs like paws after each and every walk.
Right.
Now, there is one major concern that's important to be mentioned here, that most of us leave the dogs wet and the paws, as it is after washing.
Right.
Now, what happens later on is the more damp you leave the feet and the paws to be, there are more chances. A lot of you might be noticing that in between the paw pads, the paws are red, or they've started to chip off, or
Right.
they've started to crack. One major reason is leaving the paws wet after every wash. If you're making it a point to wash your dog's paws every day, please towel dry the paws and if possible blow dry again. Blow dry is very important. I know it's difficult. Like most of us have smaller breeds like Shih Tzus who need to be cleaned up every
Cleaned
or
up.
every
Yes,
babies.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
blow dry is a must. Keep the paws as dry as possible. I mean, do not keep your dog's paws wet. Keeping
Hmm.
the paws wet, they will again clean it up. They'll again, bite or lick, and there can be hot,
Right.
there can be rashes, redness can happen.
Right.
So dryness can happen. So keep it dry, keep it clean, and also use a paw butter, preferably. Like mostly in the winters, we definitely need paw butters.
Right.
Also, when the floor is very hot, meaning if you're taking them on hot grounds for a walk, their paws can crack or get hurt because of the excessive heat. Use a
Right.
good paw butter, or if not paw butter, you can again apply coconut oil.
Being a pet parent 14, 15 years, I didn't know so much. So now I know so much more. So thank you so much for making so much time and telling all of us about so many lovely pet parenting, pet grooming, tips, and telling us how we should take care of our pets and how we should, add grooming as a daily thing besides food and walking. Grooming should be part of our things. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. Priya's contact has been given on the message. We will also be posting out the entire webinar on our YouTube channel, or at the end of which also we will give out Priya's, contact. Any of you who want to reach out to her for more questions, reach out to her for grooming of your pets, please feel free. And thank you so much, Priya. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
And lovely knowing you have so many pets. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This has been wonderful. I hope all of you got some tips. Bye bye. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you,
Bye.
everyone.